So in addition to the rain barrel on the left, some new things we have here are the ampalaya, the Philippine bitter melon, which I'm experimenting with. It's sort of in the middle there, in this pot in the back. It's not been doing too well. It grows very quickly, but I don't think it likes this area. Neither does this maple tree that I had here. I think it just gets too hot from the sun in the afternoon against the brick, and it just they don't seem to like it here. The other plants are doing pretty well here. A couple kinds of basil, Gerbera daisy, some other kinds of basil, and you know, random things I didn't have the heart to throw away. We have a scallion, chive back there, and some lavender. The mint has just gone nuts, as mint is wont to do, and we've been making good use of that with some mojitos, so that's great. This lavender has survived and has done pretty well also. Now, one of the most interesting things is that there is this squash that started growing out of the compost bin, and I sort of left it alone, and it has taken over the entire side of the lawn, and you know, just kind of curious to see what it is. I don't even know what kind of squash it is. It was something we had eaten, obviously, thrown the seeds in there, and one must have landed right on the outside. It got enough water and I guess nutrients, and found a good home, and so it just kind of found an escape hatch and busted out, and now it's coming and taking over everything. No fruits have developed yet, but there are the beginnings of them, so that'll be interesting to see. And now it's even starting to climb up the fence and come out, and it's going to take over. These sunflowers are pretty nice. I'm looking forward to these guys opening. The heads are pretty small, but it has a number of little other heads that will grow up out of it as well. Some of them don't have that. I have two different kinds of sunflowers. This one's almost ready. Yes, as I said, the morning glory has just gone nuts. There's also a few sunflowers underneath. Now, the garden itself. Right here is the tulsi, sacred basil from India. Sort of been an experiment. It's very pungent, so I don't know quite what to do with it, but for the time being, it's still growing around. Next is the asparagus, which continues to send up these long stalks, and they're getting thicker and thicker as the plants mature. So hopefully, excuse me, next year I'll have some good asparagus from that. Since the last update, the beans have died out, but the arugula has continued. Even though it's been bolting, it's kind of tough, but the leaves are still good. The kale and Swiss chard have also been good, and we've pulled up a number of carrots that look really nice. So this is continuing to do pretty well. The Thai basil has become a giant bush, and we've made good use of that in some stir fries. Over here is the zucchini, and unfortunately I got kind of greedy with what I was planting, and I just didn't give it enough space. So we've gotten a couple zucchinis out of it, but it's really just too crowded where it is, and it's starting to develop a little bit of a powdery mildew on it, which I've been treating apparently with a milk concentration, or a diluted milk spray. It's just basically skim milk, 1 part skim milk and 3 parts just water, and it's supposed to treat that, which happens to affect some kinds of squashes and things like that. But everything else is doing very, very well. The Roma tomatoes in the back have filled out completely, and we're getting a very good crop of those, as well as the cherry tomatoes. I'll come around the back, you can see them better. We have Italian basil here, the Japanese eggplant. Let's see if we can see a couple of these guys growing down here. It's sort of a really long, kind of hot dog shaped form. It's very it's very long and thin. I gotta find a bun and put one on it. It would be interesting. Here was another squash that came out of the compost. This one I uprooted, planted it in a pot, and it's doing pretty well. All right, let's see if you can see some tomatoes. These are the heirloom tomatoes, the black Krim. They look pretty ugly, but they have an interesting color and they taste terrific. Getting a lot of these cherry tomatoes, and as I said, Roma tomatoes. Also coming along nicely. The watermelon, I think for the same reason the zucchini hasn't been doing well, has been kind of going downhill. I harvested one tiny watermelon, and that's probably all I'm going to get out of it. There's just not enough room for this kind of plant in here. So that's probably going to be the end of that. But that's been the garden update. Thanks for checking in. See you next time.